Welcome, fans, to the series finale of Zorro, the Man of the Dead. This amazing book brought to life by myself and the amazing artist that worked on it on Image Comics. For God's sake, if you're a fan of good comics, go buy this book. And a quick reminder for y'all to hit the subscribe button and the notification button because I drop a video every single day. Join the family, join the fun, because there are more books to come. Trust me. Picking up with exactly where we left off with Diego being shot in the chest and his sister having to make a choice. Pick. Will you surrender or will your brother die? Thankfully, she didn't have to respond. The forces of Thomas replied for her. He opened fire so quickly, they just had to release his boy. Sadly, the boss was pulling up with backup and he shot too. This was ridiculous. They were pinned down. They grabbed Diego and they decided to run. But in the process, they left Rosa. The boss said, let them go. They would have to come back for Rosa. And right now, I want to have a little chat. Their hero was bleeding. They had to take a reprieve. Right now, they needed to stop his wounds, and they had nowhere else to go. So, they operated right there and then. The boss, however, was calling the higher-ups. Yeah, shit was not looking good, and only Rosa could figure it out. You are a fraud. The cartel doesn't trust you no more. They're looking to take you out, and it's pretty apparent. This was a mistake because he rocked her shit. I mean, there's sometimes you need to talk. This was not the time. What is on this flash drive? Who did you need it for? Did you want to work with the DEA? She laughed. I don't need to work with the DEA no more. The citizens themselves will kill you. You have done enough to incite true rebellion. He rocked her shit again. Bruh. He was probably going to beat her down if his man didn't stop him. Bruh, I know why she's doing this. You killed her father. And when he found this out, he was like, you knew when you let this chick work for us? You betrayed me. Is that it? Betrayal? He said, nah, I didn't betray you, senor. I just knew she was one of us. I'm sorry, Jefe. His boss must have realized he was the only one he could have confidence in. So he said, all right, take the girl to the room and beat the shit out of her until she cannot breathe. Then I'll decide what I need from her. At this moment, both children were in their worst state. Diego was in and out of reality, asking for his sister, asking for Bandito. But where was Bandito during all of this? Well, Bandito was in the compound. He was watching his sister get rocked. Even when her partner tried to stop this, he got chased out. If you're soft, leave the room. So he left. This was a bad idea, because Bandito knew how to aim for the throat. And he went in, allowing Rosa to put this idiot down, realizing at that moment stabbing people in the head is hard work. But right now she had to stay focused. She tied a message onto Bandito and set him loose. She needed help. But in all honesty, she wasn't the only one. Her brother had lost his faith. Her brother didn't feel like he deserved this mask. Just one loss, and he thought he was no longer a representative of Zorro. He actually didn't even want to be called Zorro no more. I am just Diego, a failure, and I need to give myself up to save my sister. He made a choice, and everyone had to respect that choice. But at the corner of their eye, they saw Bandito, and they saw the message he had tied. Rosa had given them the information of the plan the cartel was going to use. They were going to use it as a bait to bring them all out. So now they knew the time and the place to attack, and they were coming. When sunset came, Rosa was there in the middle of town with her partner looking at her. How could you do this? How could you betray us? We were family. She didn't want to hear none of that. You ain't my family, bruh. You were my partner, and you shot my brother. Don't talk to me. It was quite apparent the boss didn't care about none of that. He just wanted Zorro brought to him. Or this girl was going to die. He was going to bleed her right here, right now, with the same sword that took her father's life. He wasn't even playing. Right before he could do it, though, someone called his name. It was Diego. It was Zorro. And he came here not as Zorro, but Diego himself. He prostrated, bruh. He gave up his pride, begging for his sister's life. But the boss did not care. You lot messed with my money. I plan to take both of y'all out right here, right now. But just before he could, he realized that Zorro wasn't just the title of one man. Zorro was the title of this city. This was the city of La Vega. and this was the home of Zorro himself. At that moment, Diego must have realized he made the wrong choice. The choice is always to fight, and the boss decided to fight as well. He opened fire trying to laser Diego and his sister, but at that moment, Trejo made his choice. He defended both of them and gave her the car keys while he was getting lasered. Make your choice, make your move, protect your brother. Even as they drove off, he still stood against his own people, but he just got lasered. Diego, on the other hand, had made it back to his, and they painted his face because now it was time for Zorro to stand. Now it was time for Zorro to fight, and he was going to fight. The war paint made him look ridiculously cool. As he grabbed Bandito, both of them jumped in the car, and they attacked. Everyone attacked. It was all out war. The boss was surrounded by the people of this city, no longer afraid, now looking to put him in the ground. He literally had to run away, having his boys lay down cover fire, but this was not stopping Zorro. Zorro took both of them out with one stab, and he chased down this oaf, literally like a goddamn vampire, like a goddamn bat. Even when he cornered him, he still wanted to fight like a man. So Zorro gave him the battle he wanted, both of them wielding their respective blades. This battle was quick because he did not stand a chance. This was Zorro, but God's sake, this was his dance. As he disarmed him, using his own blade against him, Zorro proceeded to take his head. It was amazing. This was the day the city of La Vega stood up for themselves. This was the day Zorro returned. After his battle, he returned to his people triumphant. It was a literal celebration, a literal carnival. This was a good day. His sister ran and supported her brother because honestly, she didn't think he was capable of such a thing, but he did. He was a hero now, and she knew it. Sadly though, he had to leave because Zorro wasn't just for one town. Zorro was a force. I mean, of course he was going to come back, but Zorro needed to ride. His job was to protect Mexico, and Mexico needed his help. So they let him go. They let him ride. Months later, though, the town of La Vega had transformed. It had been upgraded, utilizing everything they had. They were changing everything, bringing back the church that was burnt down. But they knew this was not going to last because the cartel does not forgive. But they were not worried. They had Zorro, and Zorro had his sister, and together they could do anything. Literally, they had no fear because he was the man of the dead. La Vega was his home. A real man protects his home.